The name dates back to the 19th century, but Czapek is a young independent brand. In just a few years, Czapek has managed to emerge as one of the truly interesting players in the independent watchmaking scene, with distinctive entrepreneurial model and beautiful watches. We are now in their Geneva boutique, where we're going to meet their CEO, Xavier de Roquemaurel.
So Czapek comes from a name, from François Czapek, who was a fantastic watchmaker of the 19th century, born near Prague in what was Kingdom of Bohemia, what is today Czech Republic, and moved to Poland. So he was a Polish, Czech-born watchmaker, if you want. From Poland, he moved early in his age, at the age of 22, to Geneva. He was already a watchmaker. He was fleeing from Poland, which had been invaded, and he participated in the resistance against this invasion. He had really to move away, went to Geneva and started the first business in 1833 with a local named Moreau. Then a second business with another Polish compatriot named Antoine Norbert de Patek. And then he started his third and final business called Czapek & Company in 1845. And that's this Czapek & Company that we have revived on the 12th December 2012, and that we are continuing the story, following the spirit and the personality and the quest of its original founder. When we sat together with Harry and Sebastian, we thought about the way to relaunch the company. We didn't want to create another toy. We wanted to create a very nice company. And we wanted independence to be one of the keywords when we speak about Czapek. So we suddenly realized, we are three guys with nothing really. We are not rich, we just have the passion for watchmaking. And we have in our plate that just fell here, the Czapek name. And we thought, we are so lucky. Why don't we share this luck with more people, with more watch lovers that would put money in the company with us and put their passion and put their knowledge, and all together we would relaunch Czapek. And that was the main idea that is called today crowdfunding equity, that was called before creating a company with a lot of friends. That's the idea really behind the relaunch. Today we have 200 shareholders. They didn't come all at once. We came out of the blue, if you want, in November 2015, to the big surprise of the industry. And that's when a lot of people joined us. Over 70 people joined us on that first wave of crowdfunding equity. And then the following was more discreet. But every time we were opening the capital to more friends and watch lovers, we were getting a few more joining. So in the few years that the company was reborn, we always had in mind, in the very beginning, that we wanted at least 4 collections. And the first one was a 7-day power reserve. We had a very clear inspiration from an old Czapek watches that had been sold by Antiquorum in 2008. And we saw that's the spirit of Czapek in that watch, and we can keep it as an inspiration. And then we wanted a chrono, and then we wanted a tourbillon, and we wanted a minute repeater. So in the end, there is the plan and there is what you do. So we did this 7-day as a start, and that's a Quai des Bergues. We did the tourbillon immediately after because we could find the right design for the tourbillon. Actually, it was the first design we made. And we could find the right partner to make the movement. Both movements are made with Jean-François Maujon. They are owned by Czapek, so it's our movement. Nobody else can use it, but we make it with someone who is a partner, with Chronode. And finally, the second one in the plan, which was the chrono, became the third one in the history, which is our chronograph, Faubourg de Cracovie. So that's the 3 collection. And of course you would say, but then what happened with the 4th ID, with the 4th collection, the minute repeater? Well, we officially started working on it 2 years ago, stopped a bit, and then we are retaking the project since this fall to try to present at the fall of 2022 our first minute repeater. At the very beginning, with Sebastian and Harry, we had nothing. We had 15,000, in the account, and we were there together with just the energy to start. and a few ideas. And we really wanted to create the nicest watch with the nicest people, with the best craftsmen. And the chance of living in La Chaux-de-Fonds, in Neuchâtel, for me, is that you're really in one of the two cradles of watchmaking. So we started looking around now. And this networking led me to create with a few friends a sort of group, team of people helping each other. So it meant every supplier, we don't call them supplier, the term is forbidden in Czapek. We call them partners. So every sort of supplier or partner had an open door to new projects. So we came there, we said, this is our project, we dream of going in the stars, and we leave you the freedom to help us going there. And this is how we created what we call a horizontal manufacture, which is in fact the simple établissage of the old time. So you give to each expert in his field, each craftsman who is the master of his technique, the chance to produce, to realize, to create the nicest components for a Czapek watch. And that was our way to work. And of course, you know, it means that we need to share something, the passion for watchmaking, a sort of sparkle in the eye that makes that we want to collaborate and we want to work together. And that's what happened. And suddenly it made a pool of people which we are proud of. And that's why we don't use this word supplier. That's why we use the word partner. Because our watches is as much our watches as it's their watches. So when we are saying in Czapek that we collect rare people, we're not only talking about the people buying our watches, the watch lovers. We're not talking only about the shareholders, not only about the team here. We're talking also about the partners who are making the watches with us. And this is a sort of a family, a community of people working together with the same passion, the same vision. And we never looked at creating a community. It became because it was part of our way we were reborn. By becoming crowdfunded, we were open. And by being open, we became transparent. And by being transparent, people say, okay, I want to collaborate. And by collaborating, we suddenly realize, oh, it's much more than just sitting at a table and exchanging a few information or working on one small project. It means suddenly we belong to a much bigger thing, this community of the Czapek people or the Czapek watch lovers. So for next year, we decided to jump into the big bath or to jump into the ocean if you want. And we decided that we wanted to move from having our own movement designed together with us and made by a partner to making ourselves our first movement. In the Geneva style in the 19th century, you would typically find three bridges, like three fingers, holding the wheel train, holding all the components. And we found that was interesting. Now, most of the people don't follow that direction because every bridge costs a lot of money and they prefer to go into hiding what's below, which are the nice wheel train, and saving somehow on the total cost of the production. We decided to take a different direction, to go back to these three sort of fingers, but instead of having straight fingers in the same way they were in the past, to give them a modern look. And this modern look came from the rotor of our chronograph. So we took an angle, a shape with an angle, and you will see along the bridge all these different sort of fingers pointing at each of them one or two wheels, so that you can see the whole wheel train in one look. It's gonna be, for someone who doesn't know anything about watchmaking, it's gonna be a beautiful experience. And for someone who knows really what is watchmaking, it's gonna be the pleasure to see all the wheel trains so much detailed. And of course, on the next side, so that you can see well, you have a micro rotor. And at the same time, we wanted to have this movement to have a huge torque. So we built it following the usual mathematical calculation of having the escapement at the bottom and therefore the micro rotor on the other side. The distribution looks quite normal, a little bit more symmetrical, because we like that in Czapek. We like this vertical symmetry. So this movement will be presented in April 2020. Yet, we decided that we would not present it in a normal way. We are going to reveal it in a very transparent manner, step by step, while we are prototyping it. So during the months of February, March, we will reveal the way this movement is starting to look like and the challenges we're facing in prototyping for the first time such a piece, so that people can start, commenting, exchanging, giving ideas, liking it. We don't know. But this idea was to say, no, we want to have an open watchmaking way to work. Beauty comes from working together in a very clear vision, and that's what we want to share.